You even there? See, now you're frozen. This is great. This is not the way we wanted to start the show
I
off.
can't hear you. Hang on.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Try again.
Hello.
There we go.
Do you remember like when you got the first talk from your mom and dad and when you got that first big boy job? How to like not be late, show up prepared?
Yeah, this isn't that. This isn't that.
No, it is that. That's the
not.
problem.
No,
You
it's
know what?
not. That's the problem.
Welcome back to Average Golf Talk. If you want to see the first spicy golf employee get fired, welcome to the episode. Someone's about to get let go today. Jeez, man. God, I can't wait to talk about our one segment we have ready for today. Well, anyways, welcome back. Whatever. We have a super esteemed, very punctual guest today. His name is Christopher.
I thought I was an employee.
Well,
my guest or an employee?
We're an employee. Yeah, Christopher the Rat Davis is live and is with us. Welcome back, you bum. How's it going?
I don't feel welcome back.
Yeah, you feel warm welcome, feeling good. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
God Almighty, what's up, dude? How was the rest of the weekend? Hold on, I'm plugging my thing in here. How was your weekend?
Good. I played. It was good. Saturday, most relevant to the show. Saturday, I played golf down at University of Illinois' new course.
That's right.
Atkins Golf Center.
That's right. I forgot about that. How'd that go?
Yeah, it went all right. I shot a 91, which wasn't a great score for me. But we had a lot.
That's the first time. So we'll give the folks some context. Wasn't this part of your fraternity from the college days, right?
Yeah. So we all went to Illinois, and the plan was for a bunch of guys from St. Louis and Chicago to get together. Mm-hmm. So natural, roughly halfway meeting spot, Illinois. And they, for those of you who don't know and don't follow college golf, their golf team is excellent.
Yes.
Won 13 of the last 14 Big Ten titles. Consistently in the national conversation. They went into the final weekend of this collegiate season ranked second.
Yeah.
Ended up not quite making the Final Four, finished in the Elite Eight. But one of their seniors, Adrian Dumont-Chassant, is on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's finished top 10 in every single event that he has played in, and I think has already qualified to be on the tour next year.
He has.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And the coach was coach of the year, wasn't he?
Mike Small, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. He himself will play, some amateur events, some senior events. So nothing like the senior tour, but some senior amateur events too. So he, obviously a good golfer.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the longest time, they did not have a great golf course. They have a very nice practice facility, but they couldn't host anything because they didn't have a course that, worked. So they bought a country club in the Champaign area, spent a few years redoing it, and now from the tips, it plays to 7,500 yards.
That's cool.
We did not play that distance. We played about 67, 68.
Nice. That's still that's longer than I thought you guys would do. But,
yeah,
because you had has anyone played? It's probably dumb. No one has played the new course, right? Like of your group, anyways.
No one. The first time for everyone.
Yeah, that's cool. What'd you think of it? Did you like the new setup and everything? Again, I don't know too much about I just knew it was under construction and then being rebuilt and all of that, but I don't know too much about the prior to what it is now. You liked it.
No, they did a very nice job with it.
Okay.
In great condition, very playable. It was, there are multiple holes where you could either, had a couple different options on how you wanted to play it, whether you wanted to lay up or go for it. And interestingly, not even like, so, typical, there were a couple like par fives where there was like water in front of the hole. And so it's like, all right, did I hit my drive far enough to then go driver, like hybrid or wood to try to get there in two? But they also had multiple par fours with a split fairway. And so it's like green, far back right corner. So you can either try to hit driver or like wood to the right side, but have water in play, or hit a more like a safer iron shot off left, and then probably have 160, 170 in. So made you think, and it was in great condition.
That's awesome. Do you guys do like what you call it, like best ball? Like, do you guys do partners, or is it just like you just went out there and played? Do you guys do any games or anything?
We did do a game. We had two groups, older guys versus younger guys. And so, because we had a few, different years worth of guys who came. So for each group, everybody played their own ball. Top two scores on each hole counted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's all right. So it's kind of like a little Ryder Cup match play setup.
Yeah, we had some guys who play consistently and have a handicap, and then we have other guys who, have only been out a few times and don't play that often. And so that way, everybody still gets to contribute if they play well, but nobody's, causing issues if they're not.
Yeah. Nice. Well, it sounds like your 91 didn't help too much, unfortunately.
It actually did okay.
Did you?
Yeah, our team won.
Oh, that you did. Oh, well, that's great. Hey, good for you. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah. We had multiple holes. It was very much feast or famine for me. Okay. Good amount of pars, birdie here and there. But then, if we found water, then it was trouble. So that's how we get there.
Do you, what was the positive takeaway of the game for you? Did you get off the tee well, or was it more iron, putting, wedges? What was working? What was not working?
Off the box, we were good.
Okay.
And even honestly, putting, I was pretty good too, which is unusual for me, as you know.
As I do know, very much so.
Irons in, did not hitting greens consistently, and that was the challenge.
Okay.
Especially because 67, 68, we had a lot of holes where, it's like 5, 6 iron in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're missing that with 180 or something around that, that's gonna be a tough look for the day.
Right. So, like, there was a par 3 that was 220.
Oh wow!
Okay. So
sick. Love that.
Yeah. Love that. So there were definitely some difficult holes made up for like the 350 par 4s. So yeah.
Okay. Well, nice. Well, I'm glad you had a great time, Christopher. I'm super glad.
Yes.
I also
Sunday, bud.
It was great, man. Crushed it. I went out to Arboretum Club in Buffalo Grove. Second time I've played there. It's cool. It's a quirky little setup without actually being quirky, if that makes sense. It's just like, it's a cool little routing. It's all very tight. It's a very tight piece of property. Narrow fairways. You get a lot of, even if you hit them, there's a good chance it's going to run through into the rough, that kind of deal. So you kind of have to just deal with the unfortunate rub of the green, so to speak. But it was good. I went with our boy Joey. So he is alive. So good to see him, newly engaged man. So yeah, we drove up and then we played with, two guys from the gym that have wanted to play for a while. So, yeah, so it was 4 of us. It was great. We didn't have like anyone really in front of us, behind us. I went even on the front 9, was playing out of my mind. And then, went 7 over on the back.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So shot 79, a true 79. I have 3 witnesses. So, it was good, man. Yeah. Driver was awesome. Wedges were solid. Irons were not too bad. I was getting off the tee really, really well. So I had some really good. I was just in good places, and even if I was going to miss, I was going to miss well. So it was great to just even feel comfortable when I missed. It's like I wasn't short-siding myself or anything like that. I had a good look with wedges and all that. Putting was great. I missed a good amount of birdie putts on the front nine. Lots and lots of burnt edges, but lots of easy tap in pars, and yeah. So it was a good time, man. So did that. Yeah, so got a round in, and then I played Sunset Valley actually on Friday, which was good. I didn't play well there. Yeah, it's fun. But I think I shot like an 85 or something. But yeah, not as great. But Sunday was solid. So overall, good weekend. And I saw you Friday, man. We hung out. Went to the Little River North Festival. You're for everyone that's all maybe of 3 people. I was gonna say for all of like the 3 people that are watching this, don't enlist Chris for your basketball team. Just don't.
Okay.
Dude, those were like, I understand it's carnival. I know it's carnival game, but woof. Yeah. Your second shot, I don't even think hit rim. I think it went straight off the backboard.
You are not any better.
Oh, I am.
Look at a mirror, bud. You're not any better.
You haven't seen me play basketball. I saw enough Friday. It was brutal, dude.
No.
But it's all right. Well, get them next time, I guess. Well, look, it's so good to have you. And I'm so happy to be talking with you today. We're going to talk a few things. We're going to talk best golf cities / I'm going to open it up to states so we can expand this conversation a little bit more. So we're going to talk a little bit about where we think the best golf cities in America reside. I've got a few hot takes on this. I've got actually a list that I found, so I want to show that to you. Walk-up anthems. We're going to talk music and walk-up anthems. Also going to be a little hot take for that. And then we're going to talk about what we hate about each other's golf game and still try to remain friends. This list is growing by the minute, the more I think about it. So I'm curious to see or hear what you have to say about mine. I think I already know like 2 of them, which are both not true, but that's okay. We'll get into it. So let's talk golf cities, golf states. So I'm gonna throw it to you first because I think you've actually golfed in more states and probably more cities than I have. I've gone back to a lot of regulars, but I think you've just seen more of the landscape. With family being out west, and you got your brother out in California that you've golfed a bunch out there. You've been to Hawaii. We've been to obviously Vegas together, which, whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, let's just throw it out there. Let's start with, why don't you give me like your, I don't know, maybe like your top 5 or wherever you want to take it. I'm curious as to like, what are your top states and respective cities?
Yeah. So I kind of thought about this in a way where if somebody's looking to make a trip, where can you go where there's a lot of golf, all within driving distance, all within a short area? And I have 3. Okay. One is Hilton Head. Okay. It's great, great courses, great conditions, all within like 20 minutes of each other. If you go with friends for a weekend, bunch of different options there. Reasonably priced too, which is nice. And if you're willing to spend a little bit more, then you can play Harborside, which, hosts a tour weekend right after the Masters every year. So that's kind of a cool treat and cool way to end the weekend. 2, I would say Scottsdale in Arizona.
All right.
A lot of different options out there. Carolyn's a great course. Plenty of stuff to do. You got a casino out there. You time it with the Waste Management. That's always a great weekend. Downtown Scottsdale is a lot of fun. So, and even, if you're a football fan, your team's in town playing the Cardinals, that's a great way to do it too. So a lot going on there. And then third one that I think maybe doesn't get as much play, at least in, the Midwest, but Florida for a golf weekend.
Okay. Sure.
West Palm Beach area, plenty of stuff to do. PGA National actually is there, which has multiple courses on site, great, lodging, hotel options, bunch of different places you can go play. Fantastic weather, especially in the winter if you want to get away with the guys. That's a great place to do it.
All right. Well, I agree with some of that. I'm going to pull this up because I just thought this was like interesting. If I can. Here we go. So I want you to check this out. Let me know once you can see that.
Where's my screen here?
Yeah, open a bad boy up. So this is off of Lawn Starter. No idea who they are, but I thought this list was like fairly like all encompassing. Yeah, it's so here's kind of their methodology. So a few things that you touched on: public course access. So how accessible is the game itself, which I think is pretty like probably one of the best ways in terms of evaluating like how golfable a respective city and state is. You touched on it with like the PGA National comment, like premium course access, right? So private courses, number of preferred courses, top 100 in the world and the US, excuse me, best courses for public access and PGA courses available for public play. And then they get into some other specific stuff that, is super applicable, I think, for some, like training access with driving ranges and simulators. Course quality is obviously a huge one. Course reviews, number of reviews, average for that. And then climate. Like, I think climate's a big one in some ways, and others it's not. So they touched on a bunch of, they have a lot of factors. And so let me go back up to the top of the list. So they've got this down, like most public golf courses. Again, this is off of last year's data, but, I don't think much has really changed. And so they've got a few of your spots mentioned here. So Scottsdale being number 1, Orlando, Florida coming in close at number 2, Cincinnati, Ohio, which I thought was actually a really, really good one. We'll talk about that in a minute. It kind of folds into some of my Midwest conversation with this. Vegas, San Fran, Winston-Salem, LA, Savannah, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, Rochester, New York, excuse me, round out the top 10. And as you can see here, the list kind of goes on, but you see a pattern here with California, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Texas, good amount of Nevada in there as well. It's kind of the same, the same states over and over again, which I think like obviously plays a huge factor when it comes to the weather and stuff like that. Is there anything that surprises you looking at this list before I get into my little hot take and some of the other things here that I've got?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I thought Cincinnati was an interesting one. And I thought they had a little like write up specifically about Cincinnati. I'd have to like look at this again. Hold on. Cincinnati. Here we go. No, I thought the reason I like Cincinnati.
And to be fair, I've never played there before, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't have maybe the public pedigree for championship golf and like destination golf the way that those other cities do.
I think that's a good take. I also think too, maybe it was on the other list or the other thing I was looking at here. But the one thing that with Cincinnati that I think the other article that I found that I'm not going to try to bring up, but it mentioned here is like just the location of it. I mean, if you look at Cincinnati, you're not too far, obviously, from anything in Indiana, which like could include like, the Pete Dye trails in there, right? So you've got a lot of like the French Lick Resort, the Fort, you have the whole Pete Dye trail is in there. If you head over towards like Virginia's not too far away, even the Carolinas are like, probably only 6-7 hours. Like they're not too far. I just think it's a really, really solid location. Michigan, even in, some of parts of the Midwest, like, Chicago. I just think it's a perfect location to like, you can get to quote unquote Southern golf as well as Midwest or even Northern golf going up to like Michigan, Pennsylvania, whatever. Like, I just think that's a huge factor in all of this.
One thing, so speaking of accessibility, just in like getting there.
Yeah.
The one knock I'd have against it is it's not a big airport. So
okay, so we don't like Cincinnati Airport.
It can be it just can be expensive to get there because there aren't as many flights. Whereas, those other two, Orlando and Phoenix, for Scottsdale, like Vegas was on top 5, and I don't know if you remember the fifth one was.
Yeah,
but those are massive cities, and so if you're looking to go, from wherever. San Francisco. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to get there. I mean, LA 7, all big cities, plenty of flights, reasonable. And I'm sure Cincy has plenty of lodging. But that is potentially something to take into consideration, if a group's looking to plan it. Yeah. Driving distance for sure. A lot of places are in driving distance, but if you're flying in, that can be a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's a great call because you look at this list, like you're saying, a lot of these are also destination locations outside of just golf. So people are actively traveling there anyways. So just being able to accommodate that volume, I think is great. Like we're talking logistics of people in golf here. Look at us go.
I mean, you can also in a lot of those places take a significant other, take the family, get away for a round in the morning. Well, probably easier. Whereas Cincinnati, I don't know if there's quite as much of a draw.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah. So I agree with most of this. I think here's my only issue with a lot of the I don't really have a problem with any of the Florida mentions. I think that is deservedly so. They arguably have the best climate for golf in general. But I don't really agree with the Scottsdale one. And maybe it's just I think it comes down to like golfer preference. Like I'm not a super huge fan of desert golf. I think it's fine. I mean, I think Scottsdale, it's obviously like golf is always on. So I get it in that regard. Like there isn't a month that you can't go golf, but I don't know. I just feel that, and I think for that, it obviously deserves to be in the top 5 for sure, and maybe and just throw it in the top 3. But like, I don't know. I would rather go to Orlando, or even some like other locations. Like, I mean, I've never golfed in like the Bay Area of California. Hoping to change that, early next year. But I would much rather go there than Arizona, like any day of the week. So I don't know,
You would prefer that your hazards are the water-based kind instead of the sand-based kind?
I mean, maybe. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel with desert golf, like Scottsdale, Tempe, like any of them, I just feel it's like it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't. I just feel you just don't get a lot of variety. I feel a lot of the courses, again, I haven't played a whole lot of desert golf in general, like maybe 5-6 times, but I don't know, man. Like when we just went out to Vegas and what was the place we played? Something Ranch, right?
Rhodes Ranch.
Yeah, Rhodes Ranch, which I thought was great. I thought it was a super fun course for what we were there for. I've played Greyhawk out in Arizona, which is where they hold the NCAAs and everything. And it's like, it's a great course. Don't get me wrong. It's very cool, but like, I don't see a whole lot of big difference other than maybe just the routing of it. And even then it's like, you're not going to get in my opinion, you're not going to get a lot of variety when it comes to the course set. Like there's only so much you can really do with desert, right? So that's just kind of like, I don't know. I thought the whole Scottsdale thing, it's like, really? Like, I get it that it's always on, but should that be the only reason that it's number one? I don't know, but
I think the reason that it's number one and that I agree with is premium courses and public access.
okay.
Because of, whom it draws in. That it is a vacation destination.
Yeah.
And that it is, the year-round weather, that you have a ton of options to go golf. And they're all good. And okay, yeah, maybe they're somewhat similar. But you can't complain about having options and options that are good.
No, you can't. I mean, in that regard, you're absolutely correct. I just think that I don't know. It just doesn't like tickle my fancy, if you will. I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, I'd rather play something Florida. I'd rather play in Georgia. I just feel like
you say you want trees instead of cacti.
Yeah, definitely. Any day of the week. It's just like, I don't know. It adds an aesthetic to it that I'm fond of versus cactus and rock and snakes and a lot of coyotes.
I think that's to an extent personal preference.
Yeah. So I don't know, which is fine.
I'm not gonna begrudge you that, but
yeah. But here's kind of my hot take, though. I don't need to show this. Is why does the Midwest not get as much of a shout out, man? I don't even care about like we're not getting as much love as we should.
That's a good point. I mean,
there is not. Okay, so I looked on that list. I think the first Midwest city outside of Cincinnati, we'll just keep it to Illinois, is Rockford, of all places. Rockford was like the first Illinois city. And look, I went to Rockford when I was like, the only time I've ever been to Rockford was for like freaking club soccer, like back in back in the teenage days, whatever.
Well, you can't get there. The only way to get there is to fly to Chicago and drive 2 hours.
It's so far.
If anyone from Rockford is listening, but
take offense.
It is exactly the most affluent location.
That's what I'm saying. And
it's like, not known for that. It's not known as like a big tourist destination in the state. So you're not getting a bunch of people showing up there.
Yeah.
Chicago is a much better choice.
I know. I'm going back to the list because I wanted to point something out. So Ohio. Okay, so the only other city that's mentioned in the top 25 that is Midwest based is Toledo, Ohio. There is not
what's around Toledo?
I don't know. The next,
and I think that's really the thing, is like, not that they have to be, the cream of the crop, not that like they have to have like a Pinehurst or a Medina or, like Whistling Straits or something like that. But I mean, really, I don't know. I just,
but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I follow their methodology until they get to that, because then this is the part that kind of threw me, actually. So the next Midwest city is Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Michigan rules for golf. I don't know if you've ever golfed up there.
I have not.
It's awesome, dude. There's so many like cool public tracks that are kind of built into, like, you get it more if you go like call it like upstate Michigan, like into Arcadia Bluffs, where you actually have it like really, really in the bluffs, but you get some of that in Grand Rapids, not to mention like it's craft beer paradise, with you having Founders there and a bunch of other small, awesome microbrews. Like a place like Grand Rapids, or even like throw in freaking New Buffalo, Michigan, where it's like you have a lot of awesome courses that are in there. Like, I don't know why those aren't further up. Or take like, I don't know, man. I think Chicago should definitely be. I know I'm always like hard on Chicago for a lot of reasons, but one, not being originally from here and being from Wisconsin, but there's a lot of damn good golf around here, and it's fairly accessible in the grand scheme of things. Like a lot, all within an hour. Not saying all of it is great, but there are some solid freaking courses, and I would even give a nod to like, I don't know. I think like Wisconsin has been up and coming with a lot of stuff. Central Wisconsin, I think, is unbelievable with Sand Valley. And even when you get outside of the resort stuff, there's tons of golf like north of Stevens Point.
There's that one little course by Milwaukee that you love.
Lac La Belle, man. Shout out Lac La Belle. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks. I'm definitely going to go. Which, like, did you say you've been and you don't like it?
I had no problem with it. One of the guys in our group on Saturday was wearing a Lac La Belle hat, and I immediately thought of you.
Good man, because I've got the Lac La Belle head cover. That's a good man. What's his name? Let's get him on the program. Sounds like a good guy.
Dan here.
Dan? Nice. All right. Well, Dan, you're welcome anytime. And great hat. But it's just like, I don't know, man. You have like cool places. Like, I'm not saying Oconomowoc, Wisconsin's the mecca for golf by any means, or deserves to be in the top 50. But I think there's, I don't know. I just think the list is a little biased when it comes to, I guess, weather. Kind of, I think, pushing a lot of the Midwest golf to the side, unfortunately. And there's a lot of really, really good golf courses in and around here that, we may only be able to play 4 or 5 months out of the year, but it's also like the best conditions compared to anybody anywhere else.
I think you really could play. You play at least 5, if not 6.
Yeah, I guess I'm speaking for the majority. Like, you and I would play well into December if there was sun out and 55 degrees. I mean, I think a lot of people would. That's kind of a bad example, but you know what I'm trying to say. But
I think fairly. I mean, like, people are looking for 60 degrees, like 60 degrees. I mean, you can get that in May. Obviously, June, July, August, September for sure, and then even parts of October. I mean, I think 5 is very reasonable, if not 6.
Yeah. No, I think that's right.
And hey, global warming's coming, so it's only going to get better.
Right. Naturally. God, gotta go political. But I liked your framework though with trying to pick states and cities that are great for those destination places, but also like the accessibility. The only one that you mentioned that I would push back a little bit is Hilton Head. I think Hilton Head is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Like, have played there, loved it there. Ideally would live there if I could. But I think it gets. I think there's a lot of stuffiness that comes with that place, and others as well. Like it's a big destination place outside of the golf. And I think a lot of the courses are fairly like expensive. I mean, until you go specifically into like Myrtle Beach is different and has a lot of great golf for great value. I remember playing Pauly's Plantation with my buddy Zach years and years and years ago for like, it was part of a golf trip, but I think like their rate was like $80, and it was and they would hold, the state am there. And it was like, this place freaking rules, man. Like, get me more of that stuff. I don't know if Hilton Head necessarily has that.
You're not going to find rounds in double-digit prices. That's fair.
Yeah.
So, there it just is driving distances less.
Yep.
Really nice place. Ton of good restaurant options. It is fair to say too, it actually is a little bit annoying to get there.
It is. It's not easy.
To Charleston or Savannah and drive for an hour.
Yep.
They do have an airport there, but that's all fair. Like, I just think
it's charter though. It's all charter.
Yeah. If you're willing, if you have the bankroll to pay the price, once you get there, it's a really nice setup, and it is very much about.
Yeah. No, I get that. Talk to me a little bit more about San Francisco though. Because you've golfed there a lot. Your brother lives out that way. He, I don't know if he's as big of a golfer as you, but I know you guys pretty much play every single time that you're in town out there. Cause I'm really excited. I'm trying to play that, as you know, in February next year. as part of a larger golf trip that, you know, you should be a part of, but you probably won't because that's just in your nature. But bring your brother too. Have him come
literally
too.
the first time you're telling me about this.
Oh, maybe I told
Time you're
Joey.
telling me about this, so don't say that. I probably won't. Literally.
Maybe I told Joey. That's my bad. But I'm trying to go in February. So if you want to go, it's February 16th through the 20th.
Okay.
So we'll talk sidebar. But talk to me about Northern Cal golf, because I see it a lot. My buddy Zach and his brother play a lot there. It looks awesome. Is it worth the trip? Is it worth the does it live up to the hype?
So the only name course that I've played there is Harding Park.
Okay.
Loved it.
Which I've heard is great.
Yep. I actually played it about a month after the 2020 PGA Championship.
Oh, cool.
So the fairways were still narrow because they shrunk them for that tournament. Yeah, they've got, that place is great because they have a really nice 9-hole course there on property. So we played the 9-hole in the morning just to warm up a little bit. Stayed for lunch and then teed off in the afternoon, and you know, sun sets on the west coast over there, so finishing there as the sunset, that was really cool. Those trees, you know, they're famous trees, like balls do actually get stuck up there, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, what do they call them? Like, isn't it like the ghost trees or something like that?
Yeah.
At least at Harding Park, anyways. I think that's what.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call them.
So that, I mean, that's worth every cent, especially if you live out there. For any listeners who are in the area, there's a discounted rate if you live in the city in San Francisco, which is really nice. It's still not horrible. I think it was $150 or so when I was there a few years ago.
Sure.
Which still isn't horrible, but like it's like $65 if you're a resident or.
Wow. For real?
Yeah. So very, very doable in terms of cost. The other one that maybe some people have heard of is Presidio Golf Course. So this is actually kind of a cool backstory. The U.S. Navy used to have a very, very large military base in San Francisco proper. And this course was on that property. The whole property is called the Presidio. And, you know, around 1990 or so, they kind of, as the Cold War was winding down, they sold it. The Navy no longer needed it, so they sold it back to the city. And the golf course stayed. And what's very cool about this course is that forever there's been both a military and then a private element to it. So, you know, it was where the officers would play golf, but then there was also a separate private, you know, clubhouse for members, for citizen members, non-military members. Okay. And so that aspect of it is still there. And now it just is the rest of the tee sheet after the members, you know, play are open to the public. So it's a really nice course. It's kept in great condition. $100, which is very reasonable. And you get some of the best views of the city, which is very
awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel because another city that San Francisco reminds me of, I've played there a couple times, is I haven't been up to Seattle, but like Portland is sneaky good. Like obviously you have Bandon and all that. That's different, you know, very much resort. But there are so many freaking cool municipal courses in and around Portland. I feel San Fran's kind of the same way. Like you're saying, like it's just they've been there a lot, and like the terrain in the landscape over there just is like perfect for a lot of these courses. And so yeah, I feel
and if you're willing to drive a little bit, Pebble, you know,
that's true. Yeah, or Cypress or any of that. Yeah.
So yeah, Spyglass. Yeah.
Spyglass. Yep. Yeah. So I just think it's got like, I don't know, it's got like it's a little like golf community and golf scene within the city. That's what I just suspect or expect from seeing and hearing, and folks that have gone already and stuff like that. So,
and there too, you can play your own.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, they've got it all. They're spoiled, other than those taxes, but that's neither here nor there. Well, I've covered a lot of the best Golf City stuff. The topic that I'm most excited to talk about, though, well, second to the last, is the walk-up anthems. And this might take 2 minutes to talk about, but I've only got really one thing to show, which is just gonna make my point. So just bear with me for a hot second here, and I think we're ready to rock.
Do it.
That's it. That's all you need.
That's yours?
Oh, yeah. And if you're going to tell me walk-up anthems don't belong, like, I don't know, man. That's pretty tough to beat. So, what say ye? What say you? I think they do. But asterisks, I'll come back to it. But what do you think about that? About the topic itself? I can't talk today.
I actually don't know that I need a walk-up song when I'm playing.
Oh, you definitely need a walk-up song.
Just because
you got to add some.
I think the most important
flair. You need some flair in your game, man. You really
me personally, or just in general? Me?
Yeah, just you.
Okay. All right.
Just related to golf, though. All the other areas, you're fine. But
okay.
let's do a Christopher Rat Davis makeover, a golf makeover.
Maybe I should, like you used to do, point myself 45 degrees toward the trees off the tee.
I'm talking about aesthetics, man. I'm not talking about technique.
Just to spice things up,
I mean, if you really want to do that, but you can't really draw the ball. So my point,
I think you do that.
I think you need it. I think we both need it. I probably don't need it, but I want it. Dude, if I had that coming out, like for my first tee walk-up song, I'm like, hell yeah, brother. Let's go. Let's get it today.
You know what's a fun one that I was thinking about? Anthony Rizzo, when he was here with the Cubs, would do was it Let's Dance, bum 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 bum
Rizzo
bum 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 bum.
Oh, behind.
Let's Dance.
Changes one day ago. Goes for what the heck? Oh, the dances.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
But it's let me find it.
I've got
Intoxicated. Intoxicated.
What's it called?
Intoxicated.
Intoxicated.
You gotta be intoxicated.
Hold on.
You'll recognize it.
I think you. Come on. This isn't working.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, just put it in the comments and then I'll post it up. I think, but here's I don't know, man. The reason I bring this up is twofold. So one, and I think most importantly, is that I think overall the PGA Tour needs to take a lesson from Spicy Golf and spice it up a bit. I think it needs.
Everybody's saying to take a lesson from Liv.
Yeah, but that's not. It's not like Liv's trying to be stupid. Like it's dumb. It's gimmicky. They're not for real. You know what I mean? It's just it's different, and I understand why you say that, but it's different. I think the PGA needs to find a way to appeal to a younger generation in a way that they can easily relate to. And I think this could be, I'm not saying this,
dude,
I think it would be awesome. I'm not saying it doesn't belong at every event. Don't get me wrong. Like the majors, no, but like,
well, but that's what you're going to get people to watch.
I mean, sure. I mean, okay, maybe I'll.
People aren't going to tune in with the fickle attention spans of Gen Z. People aren't going to tune in to golf simply because of a walk-up song. And even I think it provides a little something. The other problem, though, is CBS doesn't cut in until 2 p.m. And so even like with the Masters, I mean, you're not even, I mean, unless it's the last group, you're not even watching the full round. I mean, you're getting a lot of guys, you know, on the second half of the front nine. Yeah, but I also think, you could put it on social media. I was about to say, here's Brooks Koepka. I think like Twitter could pick it up. Yeah, I think like that kind of stuff. I think it'd be more for that. It'd be more for marketing than I think getting people to actually watch it. But that's it could be like a discussion topic. But then again, I think you have to, like you said, be very selective with where you do it. Yeah. Like waste management. And even more waste management would be perfect. More specifically, 16, yeah, hole 16. Yeah, don't do it on the first hole. Do it on hole 16 as they're coming out of the tunnel. Yeah, like do it there. Or, dude, I would even take this. When they do the Old Kentucky, what's it called for the Derby? My Old Kentucky home. My Old Kentucky home. But then they, racers to the gates and stuff. What if they had like a freaking bugle going? That'd be sick. Yeah, but again, that'd be sick, dude. This isn't like if they're playing Rebel with bugles but we don't have a shotgun start, and this isn't live. No, but like, what if they did that to, I don't know, maybe it's like the featured group. I don't know. I think walk-ups I think it's worth the conversation which is why we're having this today. I'm not saying it's the Masters already has a draw to lead off their tournament. They have. Yeah. No, I know that, but that's different. That's different though. But this is like personal to the player, and I think helps get to know the player a bit more, and also adds a little bit of flair, which we all some more than others need. The bugle is not sick. It's not specific. That'd be. Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. But I would learn that instrument just to be able to play it at Augusta. But that's a unique. I want to be the bugle boy, where you need to have literally a 2-minute attention span, and golf is the opposite of that. But I think you can have a 2-minute attention span for just the first tee off, because to your point, with a lot of the coverage, especially with the early guys, right? You see them for maybe the tee off, and then maybe the first hole, and then probably it, unless they're going on a hot streak. Again, I know it's part of a larger conversation related to not only like, the tour and broadcasting and stuff, which like we don't need to get into all that. I'm just saying, I think walk-up songs would be kind of cool, man. I think it'd be cool to be able to hear Return of the Mac. And I hope Max Homa would play that song, because I think I can see that. I don't know, man. I do agree with you that it would give us a different side, a lot of these guys. That's what I mean. And I think like that's kind of what I'm maybe trying to get at here, where it's like, I think if you are able to personalize it a bit more, I think you could attract a younger audience that is like, oh, if this guy's playing, I don't know, give me a top 10 pop chart song right now, insert whatever that is. Like, okay, yeah, like I'm into this guy, I don't know. What song? Let's think about. Let's do a quick brainstorm. Okay. What song can Patrick Cantlay play that will put everyone to sleep and allow him to take years on each shot? What about a little help from my friends by Joe Cocker? I can see him like the other guys, Little River Band, When
Oh yeah, that's a good
Mark
one.
Wahlberg's like, what the hell is this?
That's a really good one.
That's what I imagine Patrick Cantlay walking up to.
Dude, like, I wonder what Desham Bogus would play. I don't know. I'll scope out his YouTube channel because he's a more YouTube golfer now. But that's hilarious. So yeah, like what song can Cantlay? Who's another, like, even Brian Harmon? Damn, dude. Like, kudos to him for winning, obviously, but my God. Like, I know you're gonna say to me, like, if I like how I play slow, which I freaking don't. That dude,
You do.
That dude takes 17. I thought it was brutal when they put him on the waggle tracker as he's gonna go win his first major. But no, dude, I don't golf slow. I don't. I like
slowly. Yes, you play slowly.
It's not true. Not true at all.
Okay,
it's not.
Well, here we go. We're going to the third topic.
Okay, we're just gonna segue. Screw it.
For everyone who has not had the misfortune of playing with Jacob, and I say that nicely, he puts the ball on the tee, then he steps back and he looks at it.
Yep, to find my spot of where I'm gonna hit it.
And he walks up there and he thinks about it after practice swing, thinks about it, sets himself up again, looks out, looks down, looks out, looks down again, and then maybe we'll swing.
And all of that takes about 15 seconds.
Absolutely not.
It is true.
That times 4.
Okay, first of all, do you know the actual time?
Muffin Man? Yeah, I do.
That is slotted, that is allowed to hit the golf ball. Do you know?
Dude, you take forever.
Do you know? Answer the question.
You take forever. It's
so
not about that. It's not about that.
No, it is about that. Because here's the thing. Yes, it is. I'll tell you why. I will tell you why.
It's challenging to finish a round in 4 hours and 15 minutes if you are not hitting the ball well. If you're putting balls out of play, which can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Then it's challenging to play around with you.
No. Disagree. You are, put it this way, you are the only person that I've ever golfed with that says I play not even slow, because I know I'm not a slow golfer, that plays slowly. You're the only one. You're the minority. So just think about that, of how wrong you are. And the answer to my question is that you clearly don't know.
Joey and I have had this conversation.
You think I take, well, Joey doesn't know shit. So, Joey's,
that's fine.
Opinion on this, I don't.
You're not the slowest person I've played with.
I'm far.
I have a coworker who he will take 3 practice swings before any shot. He will take 3 practice swings facing 90 degrees away from the hole, so like perpendicular to the hole, like the hole straight out.
So he's not even lining it up.
3 swings to the left, like not even facing the hole. Then he'll go up to the ball. Then he'll do another practice swing, and then he'll do the whole look in, like focus on where we want to hit it kind of thing.
Yep.
And what was so annoying about this, especially the first time it ever happened, was this is in a scramble. And
that's brutal.
Like, dude, it's like, dude, you're not even, one thing was like the first guy to hit every time he wasn't. So it's like, do your practice swings while other people are, hitting. Right. And then you're ready to go. And he refused. He's like, no, it's not the process. You got to process. It's like, dude.
So I have a loose process. My process, you were almost right. Okay. So my process is this: while guys are hitting or doing their whole swing routine, I will glance out while I emphasize while they are swinging or hitting the ball to find my spot. I put the ball down. I take a step back. I look at it for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I take my 1 swing. I take 1 practice swing. I'd never take more unless like it means for money or something. And then I go up. I'll look out maybe 1, twice, and then swing. That whole process probably takes about 15 seconds. I think like max. And to answer my question before, because I know you still don't have the answer, it's 40 seconds. It's 40 seconds.
It doesn't matter, man.
It does, dude.
If you're sitting out there for 40 seconds,
I want someone to time
on
me.
any public or private court, anything. If you're just out there for 40 seconds between each shot, people are waiting to tee. You're on tee number one.
Yeah, I trust me. That's way too long. I'm with you.
You're taking 40 seconds.
I'm with you. Okay. I'm with you. I'm not saying I want to take or even come close to 40 seconds.
Why are you using that to like justify it?
The reason I say that is because 40 seconds is basically the time allotted, okay, and it gets factored into how long a round should take, which is 4 hours. Okay, yeah, that's what they use that off of.
But that's
okay. So if you're hitting
based on but not for somebody who is shooting, like even mid 80s. I think mid 80s or higher. Like if you're taking 40 seconds a shot,
I agree with you. I'm just saying, according to the official rules, because this goes down to the U.S. Hold on. I think it's USGA.
But they're not keeping pace of play at 4:15 if everybody in the group's taking 40 seconds a shot and everybody is an average golfer. It just isn't happening.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, you're wrong because you're the only one that has said this. Joey's a coward because he won't say it to my face. And Joey takes frickin' forever. We both know that. So he doesn't have any say in the game regarding this. I think you and I are actually very similar. And I don't truly, I think you and I take about the same amount of time, and I've never had a problem, and I've never thought you were a slow or slower or slowly at any freaking
adverb. This is now becoming a grammar lesson, but
yeah, whatever, dude. You add whatever you want to add at the end. I've never considered you a slow golfer. So now look who's the dick.
Your grade school grammar teachers failed you.
I got a B+, A-. So screw you.
Failed.
Here, you ready for my list for you? Okay.
No, wait.
Notice on all of these, there's only one. There's only one on here that actually has to deal with like your physical, like when you're golfing. And it's not even super bad, but I think you're losing yardage is you choke down on the driver too much. It annoys me. Stop doing that. It annoys me because you're losing on yardage.
Well, the reason I do it is because it allows me to have a more consistent swing to the rest of my clubs.
Well, I think
for me, that's easier. It's easier for me to replicate the same swing all the time than have a club that I'm hitting that often or I'm doing something differently.
Well, then get the whatchamacallit, the one length, whatever, for everything.
Really a whole separate conversation, but I just need to go get fitted for clubs.
You do. And so stop choking down.
We can, another time.
So stop choking down on the driver. Okay. The one thing that does bother me is you're not a golf explorer, and that disappoints me.
I'm not
know what that means. You're not an explorer. You're not a golf explorer.
Okay.
And that disappoints me because here's what a golf explorer is, and I'm a golf explorer. I am freaking I'm the pioneer. Is that I will go as far as possible to find good golf. You don't, and it drives me insane because we have a great time, okay? But you don't go as far, and I have other people that do, but I'm not as close to them, and I don't see them as often. You need to become more adventurous.
The ask is, for folks listening, the ask is, hey, drive 2 hours each way with me on a Saturday and pay $200+
Nope, not true. Golf. Not always the case. There are those. There are those.
Many of those. Often.
No, not many, because most of those I can't go to because they're weekday stuff. Sometimes, obviously, I take the day off or whatever and go do that. But
well, some of them are during the week. Yeah, some of them are during the week.
Yeah,
but it's still,
some of them are.
Remember how we were talking about how Chicago has lots of good golf within an hour's drive?
Yeah. But we haven't even hit all that. Okay, but you won't go to
that, and that's a great point. We haven't even hit all that.
No, we haven't. But you didn't let me finish. You won't go up to Stonewall Orchard with me, which is an hour each way.
We've played there multiple times.
Twice, I think. But I would go to I'm trying to think of another. You won't go to New Buffalo. You see that as a chore, and that's an extra 20-minute drive. On the way back, it might be a headache. Anything back into the city.
Whitaker Woods?
Yeah, we could do Whitaker Woods. We could try to get on at, Lost Dunes, whatever. We can try all that stuff. But
There are
you won't go down on like I've wanted to go down to the Pete Dye courses down in Indiana. Now I know some of those are far. I'm not saying we go to French Lick tomorrow. I know that's like, you know, a 3-4 hour drive. That's a hike. I get that. But like whatchamacallit, the Fort, which is up near Valpo. And there's a bunch of courses like in and around there. Like, what is that? An hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, maybe?
My preference,
come on, man,
would be to finish the ones that are more local first.
Dude, but they're not. But some of them are like. Let me ask you this: would you rather? Go ahead. Go. I'll give you one example. Okay, go ahead. Go.
No, I was gonna say, if that's your, frustration with me, I'll grant you that. You can be frustrated.
Okay, great. Okay, 1 for me, 0 for you. Continue.
Okay.
1 for the good guys. All right, what's yours? I've got 5, but I'm gonna go I've actually covered 2 of these.
No, I'm good. Really?
That was it. Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Perfect. This is perfect. So I'm really not that bad of a golfer. So here we go. You're a bad kart driver. You scare me every single time you're behind the wheel, even though I never like to drive. And actually, one thing that does bother me is that I feel you drive all over the place. Like our routing is insane to get from ball to ball. Like I feel you do so many damn figure eights, like in the middle of the fairway. Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, so welcome. I feel like I'm dizzy. I'm dizzy, Chris. I'm dizzy sitting shotgun, and I shouldn't have to, feel dizzy, especially after you've had a few beverages, dude. You take turns like freaking hard left NASCAR driver, and it's tough. It's a tough look, my friend. I feel I'm going spilling over every time. I'm in fear for my life.
That could also be that you're just losing balance too. Like I said, I haven't received that criticism.
Yeah, well, I haven't received criticism how slow I golf. So welcome to the club, my friend. Doesn't it sting? It stings a little bit. The other one I have is you need to golf more. Okay, so get on my level. And I think, Chris, you could elevate your golf look. I think you're a good-looking gentleman. I think you need to never wear an Adidas shirt ever again. And I think you need to wear more like designer brand golf gear. That's what I think.
I need to never wear designer brand golf gear?
No, you need to wear it. No, I said get rid of the Adidas. Be better than the Gap.
I haven't worn an Adidas shirt for years.
I feel you have like a white Adidas shirt. I don't know why. That I feel you pull out.
Years here.
Oh.
Now every time I play, it's from a course that I've played at.
That's true. Yeah, I have seen more of those, which I'm actually jealous about because I feel you have more of the course polos than I do.
Yeah, like Sand Valley, right here.
I know. I see that. Thank you again for not going with me for another year. Really appreciate that. Note to self, you ever trying to do a golf trip, Chris is terrible at planning it, and he's terrible at even getting. I was lucky to have him want to golf. Actually, you were the one spearheading and pretty much like not begged, but really emphasized golfing at my bachelor party. So I am glad we did that because I wasn't going to. So I'm glad you talked me into it. That was fun. And we had a great time. So I'm trying to have more of those experiences with you in life, Christopher. So we need to get you to explore more, maybe pay a little bit more. That's okay. It's not going to hurt you. And
we also,
just continue buying those polos.
there also is a middle ground that we can
What's
find.
What's the middle ground? I don't want to compromise.
Oh. Okay, then.
I'm not about compromise. But what's the middle ground to you?
Well, yeah, we either don't go quite as far. I don't know the last time you've offered to, or that you've suggested golfing on a weekend in Chicago.
All the time. I mean, you've just been busy this last couple of weeks.
All right. Well, we'll find a time then.
Okay.
We can live stream it for the group, and they can see.
Seriously, on-course filming is like.
Whether you play slowly, whether I drive a cart poorly.
Can't wait. This is going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to need another videographer so I can actually live in the moment. So, all right, well, we've covered it. How you feeling for pickleball tonight?
Can't wait.
You think we're gonna win? I'm so mad about last week still.
We're gonna win.
Okay. We need to. Can you also put in a petition to get us off these 8+ p.m. time slots? We're getting the shaft, dude. They're trying to put us down.
Next week's playoff spell.
Oh, I thought we had one more game before that. Okay. Are we going to get the shaft again?
I don't know.
Okay.
There's no schedule because it's playoffs.
Who are we playing tonight? Are they good?
I don't know what their team name is, but Ashley is their captain. They're 4-6. We're 6-6.
Okay. I like our chances. I liked our chances a lot last week. We lost concentration. We can't do that. We can't. I like our at net.
Keep our composure.
We have to have good composure.
Yeah.
I think we have to cheer each other up, like cheer each other on a bit more too. So let's keep that going. But I like our at net strategy. Like we're charging the net as we should. So let's keep that up. So you're gonna pick me up, right?
Yeah.
Sick.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Thank you everyone for joining Average Golf Talk. Chris, it's always a pleasure. We're gonna find time to get on the course and we're gonna make this all happen. So good talking to you, buddy. And I'll see you in a little bit for pickleball. To everyone else, keep it spicy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Later.